I'm Lisa, and I'm the mom half of this duo.
And I'm Shayda. I'm Lisa's daughter. And welcome to Two Peas in a Plot, our little corner of the internet where we talk all things books.
We read across genres and love everything from underrated gems to longtime favorites.
And just a quick heads up while we try to avoid spoilers, we do talk about what we liked or didn't. So there might be a few light spoilers along the way just to give you some context.
So if you love stories and want to grow your TBR, hit that subscribe button and join the plot.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Today we are doing a few different things. So I guess I should introduce the book first. We are reviewing The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And today we have a special guest. We have my Uncle Joel here to talk about it with us, too. So I did not read this, but I've heard so many good things over the years. So I'm going to be asking the questions, and my mom and Joel are going to be answering them. And I feel weird calling you my mom, even though you are. I feel like I should say Lisa. Lisa and Joel are going
Yeah.
to be answering our questions for us.
Well, and we
And
used to work together, me and Shayda, my daughter, and she never knew what to call me. Mom, or I think you ended up just calling me mom.
okay, so we're going to jump in. And I will say, for those of you who have been listening so far, you know that me and my mom are very informal. Joel is very prepared, like like really, really prepared. So I think I'm going to lean on him a lot for this episode because he has a lot of insightful commentary that I think he's going to give us. I have some prepared questions, but we'll probably open it up for a more free-form discussion. So buckle up, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, so let me start out with some of my questions. Again, I have not read this. I kind of know the general framework of the Count of Monte Cristo. And for those of you listening, I'm going to go ahead and kind of skip. I'll read you a very, very brief log line, but I'm going to skip. It's because it's a classic novel and it's been out for centuries. We'll skip over that. But the little log line I have here for you is a wrongfully imprisoned man escapes after years of suffering and reinvents himself as a powerful aristocrat methodically enacting revenge on those who betrayed him. It's a sweeping tale of justice, obsession, and the cost of vengeance. So that gives you broad strokes of what this is about. But um, I'm going to ask y'all, both of you, if someone knows literally nothing about this book except the title, what kind of time are they signing up for? Is it fun? Is it exciting? How would you describe it?
I think it's more of an adventure. It's to me, it's like a long soap opera.
I think you just need to be prepared for a lot of interesting tangents. And there's all kinds of little backstories and things going on that are interesting, and maybe apply to the plot line, but it sometimes it feels like the progress in the plot is slow because you're taking all these tangents. But it is a very interesting read, and I really enjoyed it, even though it was 1,000 pages.
Yeah, it's huge. I bought it under the auspice that I would potentially read it with y'all, and I just didn't have
Mhm.
time to do it. But I think, Joel, you're going to speak more to this a little bit later, but it it was serialized at first, right? So I imagine some of that bloat is from not bloat, but like some of the tangents, I guess, is from
Yes.
like, hey, I got to make money. I got to write a serial every week.
Yeah, I'm sure some of it was, and I imagine he wanted to drag this out as long as he could because there was a large following that were reading these serial things, and he had the attention of the country, and why not want to keep that and drag it out as long as possible? Yeah, I think the serial format did encourage some of the length.
I think that's easier to read than the book as a whole. As if you look at it, it's intimidating, the size of it. Most people don't want to read something that long. I think I only got a little bored, probably as Joel, you had said, in the middle. It was a little, I didn't know where it was going. But then towards the end, it all came together to me. And the people who were in it for a very long time, we got what happened to them, and I enjoyed that part of it. I enjoyed all of it. I really am glad I read it. I'm not regretting to read it, but I can see it as a serialized book. Like in the newspaper, you look forward to reading. Like I read the comics before school. I enjoyed the story of Mary
Oh
Worth,
yeah.
and I don't remember all the other
Well, it'd
ones.
probably make a great TV series too if they did it
Hmm.
right.
Sounds like lots of material. You could go on for years,
Mm.
seasons and seasons and seasons. Okay, so the next question is kind of related because it is a classic novel. People have this idea of classics. It's like really, really serious, very sometimes very boring. Is it as heavy and serious as people assume, or is it more fun than its kind of classic reputation? Or its reputation as a classic, not that its reputation is classic.
I don't know what a serious book is. I mean, it's a
Anna
suspenseful book.
Karenina.
Hmm?
Anna Karenina. That's a serious book.
Yeah, or War and Peace.
You War and Peace. Yeah, any Tolstoy is very serious.
Yeah, this is more of an event-based story than a carrot long character study.
That sounds more fun to me.
It's definitely more fun. Not that there aren't a lot of interesting characters in this. The characters are very interesting.
And I agree with that totally. I did finish the book a lot sooner than my brother. So
Yeah,
the
no reason to
feeling,
brag.
the feeling of it has lessened over the months. But I just remember that one episode where he escapes, which isn't, the book has been out a long time, so I think I can give a few things away. And the people throw the body, they think he's dead, throw it in the water, and he yelps because he thinks he's supposed to go in a grave, not up in the air. And I just think that's so funny. And the two people, basically grave diggers that weren't grave diggers, it scared them and they kept looking out in the water. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny.
Major turning point in the story.
Yeah. I didn't know how he would get out or how he was going to get out of jail.
Well, after reading this, I've read a few other quote classic books, but there's a lot I never have read. And I'm sure they're all very enjoyable, and I would be more willing to pick one up these days than I would have before this.
That's really interesting to know. And I know you're going to talk about a little bit later that this novel seems really progressive for something that was published in the mid 1800s. And I there's some editing magic going on behind the scenes here, but I had to look it up. It was published in Journal des Débats from I'm sorry for my French, but it was published in a French newspaper from August 28th, 1844 to January 15th, 1846. So
Mhm.
actually, for how big it is, the fact that he wrote it over the course of 2 years, that's incredible. Not even 2 years, like a year and a half. Um, it's pretty progressive. It has a lot of things in it that you wouldn't expect a novel of that time to have. But I will say, I think I haven't read a Dickens novel in many, many years, but Dickens is kind of like that too. I think he was serialized and his stuff is very, I know it's like classic, but he was writing very quickly to make ends meet. And a Dickens novel is a good time, I think. So,
Yeah, and he did it for money, not for art.
yeah, and I'm sure there was some art involved.
Oh,
Like you,
there's
you
a
have
lot
to
of art involved,
enjoy
but
what you're writing. I mean, like personal satisfaction art, but I do think it's funny as an indie author, there's a lot of like if people are writing fast or you can't be writing well if you're writing fast. There are a lot of authors who we read now as classic authors in English class and study in college, and they were writing super fast and they were writing for money. Like it doesn't mean you're going to write bad stuff. So,
well, Dumas may have taken 2 years to write this book, but if he wasn't serializing it, if he was just writing it standard, it probably would have only taken him a few months.
Mhm.
oh yeah, it seems like he's just a powerhouse of a writer.
Yeah.
My biggest question, and sorry, Shayda, I know you're the person doing the questions, but do you feel, Joel, that it was about Revenge? Do you think he was revengeful, or do you think
Oh
he
yeah,
even,
it's definitely about revenge, but
yeah,
it's not. It's more about seeking justice
yeah.
for the way he was wronged, and the justice that he serves out to these people is very appropriate to the kinds of things that they and the motivations that they
Hmm.
had for doing him wrong.
Do you think he regretted his revenge? I think there's one part for me that I feel he regretted it.
Oh yes, at the very end, he realizes he's crossed a line,
Hmm.
and so he's done with his revenge, and he sails off into the sunset
Yeah. But it
with the
is,
pretty lady and all the money.
yeah, but that's not his mistress. It was like a daughter to him. That's what I took it as.
No, no, no. They were in love. They went off romantically
Oh
together.
no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh. And I will say, as me as a reader, I got confused, and a book I'm reading right now does the same thing, where they have like four names, and in one sentence they can use one name and then the second and another name. And it takes me a while to get used to the author going back and forth to the different names. I don't understand the purpose of that. But if you did
Yeah.
it, could you not give me a cheat sheet in the beginning or at the end of the book? I don't know. I
Dumas
found that
does that
really
some.
hard to
He,
follow.
he does that some with his characters, right? They have
I,
first names, last names.
yeah.
I really had trouble keeping track of there were the original conspirators who
Mm-hmm.
framed him. There were four
There's
of them.
was
And
Danglars,
but
Fernand, and Villefort. There were,
and Cateros.
yeah, later on. He was easy to remember. I don't know why, because he didn't have as
Yeah,
many
he had an
names.
interesting name.
Right.
But later
Yes.
on, you're dealing with the relatives of these three, and
Yes.
some of their last names have changed because they've been married, and
Yeah.
keeping track of who is who and related to which original evil person is tricky.
I
That
found it.
that kind of sounds like Tolstoy
Oh,
with
really?
the I remember in Anna Karenina there were
Yeah.
like you had your full name and then you had your Russian nicknames are very, very different from the actual base name. So it's like, I don't even
Yeah,
know who you're talking about here.
yeah,
And
he
then
did that.
everyone with the patronymics and like there's a vowel change at the end. And then there's like, yeah, they were referred to either by their first name or by their non-matching at all nickname or
Hmm.
by their last name. So yeah, they had three or four names apiece. You
Yes.
know what? Also, I had a little bit of trouble with in just reading Conclave because they'd be referred to by their not diocese, I don't think that's right, but basically like if you're the Archbishop of Canterbury, maybe you'd be Canterbury. I don't even think they talked about the Archbishop. So like Canterbury, but then that person has an actual name and then they also have a title, like if they're part of the conclave, or if they're part of like the cabinet for the Pope. I know there's a different word for that. So they could be referred to by their administrative name, by their liturgical name, or by their actual name. And I was like, you're throwing so many people at me. I have no idea who's who, and now you're changing it up to
Yeah, you
be,
need a cheat sheet, you
yeah,
know.
Yeah.
yeah. So I could see that being really difficult for to just kind of keep everyone straight, especially for such a long no I wonder if he had a cheat sheet to
Yeah.
try to keep everyone clear in
Well,
his head.
how did he keep all these plot lines together
Hmm.
over 2 years, and all the people and characters and all the events that happened to them? I don't know how he kept it all straight.
I think I think that's kind of what's happening with George R. R. Martin. He's
Mm.
written such a rich world, and it's been what, like 10 plus years since
Mhm.
a book in the Game of Thrones, I guess it's the Song of Ice and Fire series has come out. You just, yeah, I wonder if he had given himself like three or four books into the Count of Monte Cristo, maybe he would just have been like, I can't keep anyone straight anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you would
So
have to
that's
have some
cool.
sort of outline and as you're going forward in a book. Because I was thinking I'd heard something about, gosh, I can't think of her name, Harry Potter, the writer.
J.K.
She,
Rowling's.
yeah, she had something like that for her. That's what I
Oh
thought
yeah,
I'd heard.
because those 7 books or whatever, that's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she said she had family trees and, like how
Yeah.
all the families were related because there are these big.
I just think they're
Yeah.
so smart they could remember all that and wouldn't need it.
Maybe some of them are.
Yeah.
Okay, we touched on this quite a lot, but I don't know that I actually asked y'all directly. It's very long. Did it bother you? And Joel, you put it very nicely. Did you enjoy it or was it torture? That the length of the
I
book.
definitely enjoyed it. There was more enjoyment than torture. Sure, there was places where it got uh, a little confusing and I was sort of losing some interest, but it picked up again and took off. So I definitely enjoyed it.
I'm the same. I enjoyed it. There were some slow parts and I put it down, but as soon as I picked it up again, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. So it was always
You
good. It
know,
was
you,
just I got tired of the story after a while being so long. I wanted to get to the end. And it was
well,
hard because it's not something you could rush through.
in the beginning, the story's about, this Count of Monte Cristo. And in the middle, that character takes a step back and you're introduced to all these other characters and they have interesting stories and interesting things going on, but you're like, well, where's my guy? What's he doing? Um,
It's like really frustrating, but also a really good tactic, I think, when authors do that because it's like, well, I guess it could backfire, but if you set up that first character really, really well, and then you go away from them, you've hooked the reader at least to get back to that original character. It's like, well, we have to
yeah.
go through this to at least figure out what happened next to.
And it opens the door wide to all these other plot lines and characters and stuff that you want to throw in because you've just like almost reinvented the book.
And continued your weekly serial in your French
Exactly.
magazine.
Kept your weekly paycheck coming in.
Yeah, that's a working author.
Yes. But then the genius is that all this random stuff that he throws in the middle, all connects up in the end.
Yeah, that's amazing. Especially I would love to know, did he know where he was going when he started? Because if he
Exactly.
didn't,
Yeah.
what an incredible, I mean, either way, it sounds like however he wrote it, if he knew where he was going beforehand, it's great. But if he didn't know where he was going beforehand, what a amazing feat of genius to be able to pull it all together like that.
Yeah. It'd be wonderful to interview him now and see,
Yeah.
what his thought process was.
Well, I think those are all of my more pointed questions, but I know that there's a lot of stuff that y'all have mentioned in passing before we've had our talk here today. Just some interesting things about the book or things that you found particularly interesting. Is there anything you want to talk about that you think readers would enjoy or find interesting as well, intriguing?
Well, one thing I found really interesting is the Count of Monte Cristo becomes infinitely wealthy. And to me, this offered some insight into how the billionaires of today can live. The Count of Monte Cristo, he saw this beautiful team of horses pulling a carriage, and this wealthy, influential lady had just purchased this team of prize horses. And so he wants them on his carriage that day. And this is the day after she's purchased them. He goes to the guy and he offers him like 4 times as much as what the lady paid. And guess what? He gets the team of horses. He doesn't, it's a drop in the bucket. He doesn't care about the money. He wants the horses. He'll pay whatever. And he does this over and over again. He just uses his money to accomplish things that he wants to accomplish. Money is no object. He gives away diamonds to bad guys, just to help frame them. He doesn't care what happens to the diamond.
That sounds
And
amazing.
yeah,
And
it's really
money doesn't
amazing.
buy happiness, but it buys a lot of
Mhm.
convenience
A lot of convenience,
and it buys
and
your time back. Yeah.
your world does not revolve around money. Your world, it revolves around your wants, and
Yeah.
because the money's there. So interesting aspect. I have some more things to say unless you want to say something, Liz.
No, no, you go. You're very eloquent. I have a brother that's very eloquent. Your
You
sister
never
has a
knew I
very
was
hard time.
eloquent after all these years, and
You
all
can
the
talk.
wonderful speeches I've given to you, and tried to educate you and bring you up in a
Yeah,
proper
right.
manner.
I
Oh, yeah.
still
I think
go
I need
ahead.
to point out my mom is the baby. She has two older
Oh,
brothers.
yeah, she's the baby.
Yeah, I'm
Joel
the
is one of
baby.
them. Yeah. So she's poor little thing. I
I
am
know.
the
I was
eldest child.
tortured.
Yeah. I didn't really torture but
No, but you're
my
too
brother
far
is so much
apart.
younger than me. Yeah, that we didn't have
You weren't
normal.
interested in torturing him, right?
No.
He
He
was
did
I,
get me in a
I
headlock one time. He was a little
really.
baby and he was having a tantrum. He was like 2. And I went and laid next to him. I was like, "Are you okay?" And he stuck his little hands in my hair and pulled. And I
Oh.
was like, "You know what? I'm gonna leave.
You need to tell him
I don't need
that.
this." I'm sure I have.
That's
I'm sure he
funny.
doesn't remember. I mean, he was really little. He was
Yeah.
just having kind of a tantrum on the floor.
How funny.
Sorry, I interrupted y'all, but yes,
No,
you are the baby. You are the
yeah,
baby
she's the
I'm the
sister.
baby. I
baby.
used to torture her because I was bored and she couldn't play properly.
Y'all would
That's horrible.
they would hold my head. My brothers would hold my head, and I'd try to swing at them with my fists, and they could push my head far enough away from their body that I couldn't get at them, but I wasn't strong enough to release my head from their hand.
But it was really funny.
Oh my
I know
God,
y'all
that's
loved it.
horrible.
And then one time I think I sat on Joel and I wanted to choke him. I was so mad. And he
Yeah,
pushed
yeah.
me off the bed. I went, I feel like I went flying. I'm sure I didn't, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
pretty
don't
much
remember
stayed
that.
away from me because they were closer in age and I was the only girl.
Well, I am sorry for torturing
Eh,
Oh.
you.
it didn't torture me that much. I guess I got
Made
attention
you who
from
you are
y'all.
today.
Yeah, a strong, independent woman.
But I do have some more things to say about
Go for it.
the Count of
Don't
Monte
ask me.
Cristo that,
You're our guest, and we want you to speak because I have still difficulty speaking. I'm still going to
well,
English class.
oh, I doubt that, except for your Texas accent.
Oh.
But yeah, there were some things in the Count of Monte Cristo that I thought were very surprising. And one was the introduction of drugs. Apparently, the Count of Monte Cristo would take a little pill of hash and opium
Hmm.
to help him sleep.
Wow.
And and it turns out that Dumas was actually part of this hashish society in Paris that used to eat some sort of hash edible.
That
So
is
he had
very interesting.
it's not to be expected from that time frame, right?
No, although I guess if you think about how, like in the early 20th century, doctors used to prescribe cigarettes as a panacea for like lung problems,
Hmm.
Yeah. Or
maybe,
laudanum was given, which was basically opium.
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there's a some element of like a different cultural perception of like what opium actually is and what.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't understand as much back then.
No.
But that's very interesting.
And the other, there was this really humorous scene where there's a, a high society daughter is she's with a guy for a long time, and then she meets a new guy, so she breaks up with the old guy. And the new guy, she gets around and he wants to marry her. And she's not really interested in marrying him. And so on the day of the wedding, she runs away with her girlfriend and she disguises herself as a man to escape. But it turns out the disguise was a little more than just a disguise. It was also dressing up for the girlfriend because they go to this hotel and there's an intruder who sees them in bed together and it turns out that she runs away with her girlfriend because she's a lesbian and she's in love with her and not in love with men.
That's
And
very interesting.
so that was a real surprise and probably a juicy tidbit for all these
Hmm.
Parisians reading the serial.
I wonder if I'm sure I don't know if there's any archival like record of this, but I'd love to know what for each particularly like the things that you're pointing out, what was the audience's or the readership response to these particular serial installments? Like, wow, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. How was that? How was it received back in the
Yeah.
day? I wonder if there were reviews, written as these serial things would get published.
Yeah, that would be so cool to see.
And yeah, so he also talks about the telegraph and how certain high up individuals were using the telegraph to get insider information in their stock trading.
Mhm.
Apparently, stock trading among Parisians at the time was very popular, and people were buying and selling things. And this one guy was getting early advanced information from the telegraph.
So insider trading existed even in the mid 1800s. That's wild.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that feels very modern.
yeah.
That's
Well, of
crazy.
course, the Count of Monte Cristo uses this, and he goes to he bribes one of the telegraph operators because he has infinite amount of money, and he sends a fake news bulletin out that causes the wealthy guy who's doing the insider trading to lose a lot of money on a false trade.
Wow. That also feels very,
Very modern,
very
right?
modern.
Yeah,
That's so cool. Yeah, I feel like I've missed out not having read this with y'all, but I have it. I bought it. I bought the same version.
yeah.
I just didn't, it's sitting there on my shelf.
Well, someday
Yeah,
you'll have time.
eventually. Maybe
We
I'll read
waited till
it.
we retired, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder, maybe I could read it like a serial, although that would take
Oh,
2 years. I don't want to spend 2 years
no,
reading
yeah.
no,
reading a
no.
book.
You
I'd like,
totally lose track.
yeah.
Plus, you lose who's who. And I found that if I went a couple of days without reading it, I kind of had to get back into it. So I divvied out the number of pages and read a certain amount every day so I wouldn't not read it every day.
Oh
Because
gosh, you're so organized, Lisa.
Yeah,
When
I'm,
she
did that
is very
happen to you?
organized.
yeah, I have to be that way. I read a
Oh,
chapter this morning in all my books that I'm reading. I finished
I
Yeah.
one that
binge
created
read.
an irony. I do towards the end, like I binge read the book that you and I are reading, Lloyd
Yeah,
McNeil, and I had to know the ending.
yeah.
It was really different. If you want to read it, Joel,
I,
it's
I
on my
I just can't
Kindle.
believe what a reader you've turned into, Lisa.
Oh,
Uh,
she's always been like
I've
this.
always been that way. Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
been reading like obsessively since I could remember.
that's true. I mean, her favorite go-to place was Barnes and Noble.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
still
Still
is.
is.
Although I like to go a little less expensive. That's pretty expensive for me nowadays, being retired.
She had multiple city library cards because we live
Yes.
in one city and work in another one. And she would use them both. She was
Yeah.
dual wielding. If anyone is a gamer, she was dual wielding library
Yeah.
cards.
I'm planning to pick up another one too, but for now I think I have enough right now. I have a big to be read TBR.
Well, what kind of books did you like to read when you were a kid?
I
Or
didn't
did
read
you?
as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't. I did try to read Dark Shadows. Mom would try to force me to go a certain way. And I wanted to read what she read as I got older. She read The Clan of the Cave Bears. I don't even know what that's about.
Oh, those are great stories. But
Um,
when did you start reading it if you didn't
I
read in
started
school?
reading when I came out here, went to took English. I love this English professor. He got me hooked on Tom Clancy. And then our
Oh,
dad bought me the newest hardback he would come out with one every December, a new one. And I took off. I love the spy genre, political thriller, loved it.
that was an expensive gift because those hardback
It was
books
about
are pricey.
$25.
Yeah, but that's like $75 today.
Yeah, with inflation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, he would never know what to get me, and he would get me things that weren't needed or whatever. And I said, if you really want to get me something, and he wouldn't get me a birthday gift, so I figure that's all inclusive. Just get me one book a year, and I'll take it. I
Well, he,
loved
he
it.
got me some odd gifts too. He got me this long overcoat that was
Oh,
kind of orangey colored.
yeah.
I looked like a Russian spy. The thing hung down to my ankles and
How
that's
didn't
so
weird.
really,
weird.
it was really high quality coat, but it just
Yeah,
looked odd.
yeah.
Well,
Wasn't
I
just
guess it's
that.
the Tom Clancy theme. If you looked like a Russian spy, they're all
Right.
Yeah,
Cold War era books,
yeah,
so he was
Yeah,
on brand.
yeah,
I think they focused
that's true.
more on frugality than what we really needed or wanted, because mom would get me
Well,
this green, like almost like satin, but it would look like a flight jacket, but inside it was this shocking orange. And I'm a girl in high school and it's just ugly. I didn't have
oh, you
anything
poor
really
thing.
cute.
Oh,
So
you poor thing.
I know. And not until I started working at Macy's, I started like getting into clothes because I didn't know how to pick clothes.
You got that employee discount.
I
I,
did. It
I
was
always loved the
lovely.
clothes mom bought me.
No, you're the guy.
You're a boy.
Yeah, you're a boy. It's
T-shirts,
boring.
jeans, and sneakers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I was really bummed when she stopped buying me underwear and socks for Christmas.
Oh,
I
one
could
year
buy
I
my
got
own.
socks out the wazoo because she forgot what she bought. She would buy throughout the year and then I think hide it from herself or wrap it and hide it or I don't know what she did.
Oh,
And I had umpteen boxes of socks. And we all laughed about it. It was actually pretty funny. I guess I was getting to an age she didn't know what to get me.
yeah,
And
that's probably what happened. All she could think of was
yeah,
socks.
socks. I need socks.
Well, I guess that's all for this particular episode. I did want to mention one thing that I thought was very, very interesting that I didn't realize. Alexandre Dumas was actually of African descent. Like he is
Oh,
French, but he also is a black man and presents as a black man. And I thought that was very interesting. And I don't
hmm,
think a lot of people know that about Dumas.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
he achieved all of this success. And I think his dad was also mixed, but he was a celebrated general, so he had a little bit more resources than the average person of African descent in Europe at the time. But I need to read this book, and it sounds amazing what he was able to accomplish, and that he's such and I think he wrote the Three Musketeers. Like this is
Yeah.
a guy who has written some of the most enduring literature in all of modern history. So that was very cool to learn all of that about him. And thanks to Joel for joining us today for our discussion here.
Yeah,
And
thanks to my brother
uh,
for hanging in there and reading this book I really wanted to read, but have someone else read it with me.
Well, thank you all for inviting me. I really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
Good.
yeah, this was really cool. I can't wait to see what you both pick
We'll
next.
pick
And I'll
another
try to
one.
read the next one with y'all.
Well, we always appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for being here and talking books with us.
And if you love stories and want to grow your TBR, hit that subscribe button and join the plot with us, and we'll see you in the next chapter. Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.